Yup. Another beautiful day in Bitcoin. Um, I can't believe it. As you probably already heard, the original Bitcoin BSV, um, since it got rid of ABC or BCH, more importantly, the DSV virus that it came with, um, it broke a record, as you know, 32 megabytes, then 64, then 65, and yes, yesterday it's official, over 100 megabytes block by the original Bitcoin, BSV. Unbelievable. um, and there's just so much more. I was mostly just interested in what I think is an epic victory, and that's world cash for the world. And we found out that the original Bitcoin with tokenized just wipes off Ethereum. Ethereum is worthless. It is absolutely worthless. It's an inferior product. It's going to be a while before the market even understands this, but it's a fact. And it's basically game over. So, since ABC got fired, record after record after record. Undisputed champion of the world. Except by those who did not mine the 64, I guess now 100 megabyte block. And exchanges the 1,000 coins is incredible. I cannot believe it. It's only been 2 months. Just getting rid of them for 2 months has this effect, and they're not stopping. This is insane. A lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of the market, believe it or not, are being a little bit deceived because they believe that the price reveals or is some kind of indication of the value, and this is being used against the market as a whole. Let's say, let's use a fact. Okay, BTC. Let's say it's at 10,000, and at the time, the original Bitcoin was BCH before DSV, and you got people like Jihan or whatever. You get 10 to 1. So let's just say BTC is at $1,000 and BCH is at $100, right? So as Jihan or whoever exchanges 10 to 1, that's equal dollar amount, right? But that's not the goal. A good exercise to shift your mind from short term to long term is to pretend like you are being paid on future options. And all that means is the value that's been increased over 5 years. You don't get a dime until then. Anyways, that might sound complicated. Even though the dollar amount's the same, if you know there's going to be one coin in the end, down the line after consolidation, then the key would be the trick would be twofold. One, getting this mass amount of holders to let go of their positions in Bitcoin. And then two would be getting it a bigger piece of the pie. And that's starting to sound confusing. I don't know how to make it very much simpler. But not only, let's say you're getting the same amount in like USD, but when you get the 10 to 1, if you were a huge player and you, I'll just pick on Jihan or whatever, at 1%, what is really happening is the market is seeing your BCH as 100 instead of 1,000. Remember, they're equating the price has a relationship to the value. That is real. People think that. But really what's happening Jihan is getting 10 times more of the pie. That means if you own 1%, he would own 10%. And people new or not understanding would go, oh, look, the 1 megabyte is better than being able to, the better product is not technically a better product because of the price. But as that happens, people that follow that crowd would release their coins at 1/10 the price, giving long-term 10 times the amount of pie. And then once again, that would happen each time they add a terminal virus like SegWit, and this last one, but ABC knew they were getting fired because Jihan was actually trying to do this again, right? Because like BTC, Bitmain was like a ghost ship, and a lot of people are seeing this. I mean, Roger Ver didn't see this. That's okay, you know. That's okay. Whatever. Because there was two folds in that scenario. Is not only was it DSV to make sure you drop the poison pill before you get the bigger chunk, but they also had permissionless narrative going forward. The anti-government, anti-status companies like who's the biggest complies with state. Okay, the biggest enemy of Roger Ver and them, it would be Coinbase. They comply with each of their locations, complies with all local regulations and laws, and that is their statement going forward too. So this is not good for the permissionless, cheap knockoff, if you will. Remember, it's a mirage. You got to really look beneath the surface. I can get challenged. Well, why would you say, Bitcoin.com wallet is not a knockoff? Yeah, it is. You just have to do your homework. If you ask them directly, they'll never let you know open debates about any of this stuff. But and follow back. It's a clone of Copay, which goes back to the number one enemy, which is what? Complying with the state, which is BitPay, right? So they hate Coinbase and they hate BitPay and they hate the original Bitcoin, BSV, because they comply with local laws. Now, don't let them fool you to think that the BitPay wallet doesn't have privacy. They won't say that, because that wouldn't be true. But like the original Bitcoin, BSV, there is perfectly, geniusly laid out a loophole where, like Switzerland, Bitcoin or cash is neutral. You know what I'm saying? It's not for or against. It's neutral. It lies in that little privacy. And BSV is all about privacy, right? None of the coins, all 2,000, don't have the privacy as BSV, Bitcoin, regular Bitcoin, as shown, by their unending innovation, like Camcash, and Cashport, and Yours, and Money Button, and Centbee Wallet, and Pixel Wallet. These are all innovations that have never been seen before. Now on DSV or ABC BCH, all knockoffs. They're all copies. You know what I'm saying? They don't innovate. They don't have it. Those, because permissionless is the opposite of the innovator, right? Because permissionless basically steals from the innovator. And it is what it is, right? But my problem is because everybody that has BCH also has BSV, and the problem, where I'm starting to have a hard time with the BCH side of things, is and patents. These are a real thing, and they are acting like patents aren't real, like in reality or whatever. When I ask, what we do about patents, those are made by government. We don't deal with government. We're anti-government. But the problem they're having lately is they just got busted because they're being subpoenaed to the United States or whatever, and it shows right on there. They all have deals with the government. You got ABC, you got Bitmain Jihan, you got Roger Ver, and Bitcoin.com. Look closely. You'll see right on there, Inc. Incorporated, LLC, Lemon Live Corp, doing business as. You have 501c. They all are calling status, but now they've been found out that not only is Coinbase, which is the number one status, no one complies with the local governments as much as Coinbase, so that's their number one enemy. Number two is, ironically, is BitPay, which is Bitcoin.com. Well, it's not even really theirs, right? It's BitPay's wallet that they copied, which is fine, but they lead people on to think one thing, like there's any originality or any innovation from that part, but just look a little deeper, and you'll see, surprisingly. And facts show that the ones that comply with each of the countries, remember, they're not saying no crypto or anything, so I could see if that was the case, but guess who makes the most money? It's the ones that comply. Who doesn't go get BitPay is just as private, right? But they're the powerhouse of making money. What about Coinbase? Does anyone make more money than Coinbase? My worry, because now we're all 50-50 owners, BCH and the original BSV, is I'm starting to worry about this patents don't exist bullshit. And the second thing is, and I've been really vocal about this, is Chris Picard and ABC is now shown through his tweets. We've been planning to split for 6 months. And my problem is, as being a member, right, they can now justify lying to me for 6 months because why? Because they wanted to split. And no, like, oh, sorry, we had to do that, but it was an extraordinary situation. Nope. Just know when we talk, ABC, that we could be lying to you, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we have been doing, And this is driving me nuts, I did not expect this out of Roger Ver to split the community, but you could tell right away when, why are we splitting the community over, is it DSV? Do we have to guess what the hell is going on? Wouldn't talk 10 minutes, But like I said, as the added bonus, there's no way I could tell. I was happy enough with the world current, but to see tokenized innovate to the point where Ethereum's gone. It's just history. No one knows it. It's so bad. Just like after firing ABC is now teaming up with Ethereum. Every single coin has one thing in common now. They all hate BSV. Don't be confused. It's not DSV, not the virus, not SegWit. It's not replaced by Fee. It's the original Bitcoin BSV. They just now, whoa, what happened? Remember 10 for 1? They sold their coins for PCH, and then they sold their coins, and now people were so hypnotized by the price, they didn't realize each one of these moves, the piece of the pie, like we were saying, went from 1% to 10% to, what I'm saying, to huge amounts of gain in the wedge, because we all know consolidation is coming. There's going to be one coin, right? And then maybe some novelty dust. Because no matter what, may 1,000 flowers bloom is economically moronic, because that gets rid of digital scarcity, which to anyone that does math or economics knows that is illogical and there's no value in that. So in a ditch, there was collaboration between basically through ABC, through Roger Ver, Jihan, and the exchanges. Remember, the exchanges, like a casino, their best interest is to trade. The more trading, the better. They only get their fees when people trade, right? It's just like the stock market. There's no such thing in real life as a successful trader over their career. If you're new, that's a fact, but it doesn't stop the gamblers. And everything has been fully disclosed the whole time. BSV is from the beginning, and that's why they have the most patents, and it's not fair. Why don't you have one patent? It's not a good excuse. And, Coinbase has been very vocal. They're going to continue to stay within the local government's laws and stuff. So as Roger Ver and their anti-government, they're getting subpoenaed to the U.S. as we speak, right, for the collusion and all this trouble they make in being anti-government. So as the rulings get made, and as Coinbase complies, and they're not going to do patent violations or any of that, it's going to be stopped. And Coinbase doesn't like it because they make money on exchange, but they don't have a choice. So once that exchange thing gets cut off, because the anti-government coins are going to be choked off. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Because the answer to them, why they said we don't believe in patents and they had no answer, is because there is no answer. You know what I'm saying? You can't just permissionless. Jihan, he's already been, there's no IPO for him. He was colluding. You know what I'm saying? He's gone. He did so bad that he had to lay off 85% of his workforce. You know what I'm saying? But he had that. It looked like he was doing good stuff. So people like Roger Ver and them put down their logic and just went along with it. And then shit hit the fan, because once ABC was set aside, and then you had because they were slowing down, so that's why they were getting fired, right? And once ABC was out of the formula, what happened? Just like what happened with SegWit, right? Once original Bitcoin said nope, mega blocks went up. What? 2? They said it can happen. 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 16, and then ABC got in there and started, with unlimited. There could be zero comp and all this stuff, and then adding DSV was too much. So boom, they broke off with DSV, tanking Bitmain, and eventually Roger too. But with their knockoffs, remember, they're all knockoffs, and then within 2 months. Right now, it's within 2 months of the DSV virus being put on from BCH ABC chain, accepting the DSV virus and the permissionless. And this is a surprise to me too. I thought we would go from 16 over the next 6 months to 32. Get things really hopping. But no, within 2 months, 32, passing 40, 50, 64 meg block. What? 60? That's better than all crypto put together, right? Just on the original Bitcoin. 2,000 coins innovating, all not as good. Then just a few days ago, 65. And then yesterday, 100 meg block. This is, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And all the true innovations, the next level innovations, are all on SV. It's amazing. Now, the only downside I see is today, like on Twitter, there's people inside the community, each one it seems like purge a bunch of foolish things, but hoidling is evil. Do not listen to this. This is not a fact. This is incorrect. If you own original Bitcoin, if you own BSV, especially if you're a school teacher, a baker, a roof maker, that is speculation, right? That is not a mature money that loses 1 or 2%. It is speculating. If you diverted 10% of your holdings from gold to BSV or Bitcoin, these people are not okay. Close your ears, okay? To double down to take that Bitcoin and try to innovate, which is added risk, is inexcusable. It's not correct. You are already speculating. Speculating means investing. It means a risk. They're trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do. This is bizarre. The whole concept of not holding goes against bank runs. It goes against what are T-bills for? They take paper off the market, and so it's part of the circulation.